I can't cut your grass.
Hey, Andy.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
We
Hey,
are
Andy.
well. How about you?
I'm better than ever.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Does that mean
Amazing.
that you weren't great when we knew you?
No, since when you knew me, I got worse.
Oh,
No, I've been going to the gym now for almost 5 months, and
Yeah.
all the pain that I had in my lower back from all the I don't know whatever it was. They said they couldn't operate and all that other shit. All the pain's gone. I'm on the treadmill. I'm doing about 45 minutes of cardio every day on a treadmill and a bike, and lost all this weight, lost about 30 plus pounds. And all of a sudden I can bend over, touch the floor, pick things up. So yeah, I'm doing much better.
that's great, Andy.
That's-
That
That's
is really
Gary.
good.
He goes to the gym every day.
Yeah, well, you probably get the results I get, I'm sure.
Yeah, I go about 5 times a week. I try to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, I've been doing 5 to 6 times a week, and pretty much mostly 6 times. And
Well,
it's nice that LA Fitness keeps track of the days you can go back and look at which ones you didn't go.
Uh-huh. Well, I'll tell you, Gary was here yesterday and Jeanette,
Yeah.
and we went out and had dinner and had a nice visit. But Gary saw, we have a recumbent bicycle in the living room, and I must walk by it 20 times a day.
Yeah. I mean,
That's right. You start hanging your clothes on it.
Yeah,
he's in such good shape. It was mind-boggling what kind of good shape he's in.
Well, good
not,
for you.
not too bad, but my main problem is I'm overweight. When I had my knee operation, knee replacement, I started about 3 months before it and did about 45 minutes worth of 10 specific exercises every day. And then I continued that with, physical therapy. And then after physical therapy for about another month, and I lost like 40, 45 pounds.
Wow.
And it was great. And I felt good and so forth. And then I got sloppy and I stopped exercising and I continued eating and things I shouldn't and gained it all back.
It doesn't let you forget.
No.
I'll tell you, it's very hard to get it off. It's very easy to put it back on.
Yeah.
Well, it's subversive. Eating is subversive. You don't really know you're doing it. All of a sudden you're standing there I like graham crackers. We keep graham crackers on the counter, and I'll sit there and pick up a graham cracker, maybe put a little peanut butter on it. Now they have the squeezable, the squeezable ones. That's what I really need.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I'll make a mistake and I'll bring in a package of Ritz crackers and a jar of
Jeez.
peanut butter. And I remember when I first got to Hiram Scott and Skinner Hall, I used to have a jar of grape jelly and would buy bunches of Ritz crackers and
Yeah.
all the time.
Do you remember when Dean got locked up in jail and we had to go bail him out one night?
No.
Yeah, Dean Wolfley.
Yeah, I remember Dean.
And he was about an hour and a half from school. He was going home. And he got a speeding ticket or something, couldn't pay it. And he could call one person. I think he called me or you. And we bought a quart of milk, a pound of cheese, and a loaf of bread. And that's what we ate for dinner as we drove all the way out there and all the way back.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, Dean's not with us anymore.
No, I had heard that.
Huh? You hadn't heard that?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
He was not.
I stay in touch with his wife and good people.
Yeah.
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 It was real good.
What was her name?
Now you had to ask me, right? Marty.
Marty. That's right. Okay. I can picture her,
Mhm.
at least like she looked like when she was in college.
She was right from outside Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
And they met out there, eventually got married. You know that routine,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
And then he taught for 40 some years in the school, the high school.
Oh, Okay.
and he did a lot of things, but it's interesting.
Mr.
Oh, Peter.
Lavella.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, guys,
Mr.
Oh,
Peter.
yeah. Now Herb sent me a note and said he wouldn't be here because he is out of town and it's tax season.
oh, Herbie said that.
So, Herb won't be here. Tom Ben is connecting in.
Wow.
And
Hey,
Tom was,
Kid,
there he is.
Are you being religious tonight?
Yeah. Val Jansetti
Yeah,
contacted Tom. Tom, can you hear us?
I don't know, he doesn't seem. It shows his audio is on, so
Yeah.
Who are we talking to?
Tom Ben, do you see him, Peter?
Oh, I don't think he hears anything.
No, I don't either. But that's
Oh,
what I'm
you don't-
wondering. He's not muted.
I know sign language. Maybe he'll see this.
Panda? Hi, Gary, how are you?
Here comes Mr. Blades, I think.
And Blades.
Is
Send-
Sam supposed to be here?
Who?
Sam Blade.
Send him. I don't see him.
He's trying to connect with
Well, yeah, but usually clicks with audio and then video comes in after that.
How is everybody? How are
Good.
you? Mark?
Good.
Good.
Tom, can you hear anything?
What's that?
Okay.
All right.
All
I
right.
hear you, Ben.
Yes.
How are
Sorry,
you, Tom?
I'm a newcomer to this group.
That's
Well,
okay.
okay. That's okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Exactly. Welcome.
You all have to introduce yourself. I'm Tom Ben. Graduated in 71.
Wow.
You're the last of the great Mohegans.
Morse was my big brother. He swung a hard board on that last initiation night, I remember. I was talking to Val Jansani last week. Hadn't really talked to him since graduation. And for some reason, he was on my mind. And he told me that you fellows were still meeting. And so that was good to hear. And I thought, well, I'd join you. Things are kind of quiet at the house this evening, so.
Well, we're glad you did.
Pardon?
I'm Peter Labella. I graduated in 1969. They let me out, thankfully. And as I said to other people, it was the best experience of my life.
That's pretty good, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Tom.
might have been the best 6 years, but the ones now are pretty good for you.
I had a great time out there, and without them, I don't know where my life would be now.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of us. A lot of us are that. I'm Gary Jones, by the way. I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. 1968 graduate.
Okay.
And like Pete's saying, to us at least, it was the best thing that ever happened to us. We went out there. And I had a cousin that was a teak out there too, with me. Just passed away, 6 months ago or so.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that was Barry Bodine.
Oh, Barry? Yeah, I
Oh,
remember.
Gary.
Yeah.
and we just, each month, just get on and see what everybody's doing.
Where do you live, Tom?
I wish I would have
Yeah.
paid more attention in school before I got to hiring Scott, but I didn't. And it saved my life.
Well, I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and Dave Brock, we didn't go to school together, but we knew each other before we even got to Hiram Scott. But I grew up in that area. After I graduated, I taught for a year out in Nebraska, up near Valentine, Nebraska.
Wow.
I taught and coached up there. I got married after graduation, and my wife and I then moved to Huntington, West Virginia. One of our professors at Hiram Scott was hired in at Marshall. If you remember, back in the November of 1970, there was a plane wreck where Marshall lost their football team.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
And
Yeah.
Jim Raley, Dr. Jim Raley, was in the PE department at Hiram Scott, and he was hired at Marshall as a replacement. And he and I kept in contact. And I was out in Nebraska coaching and teaching, and he offered me a graduate assistantship at Marshall. And so I got my master's at Marshall, did it in 1 year, and then I landed right across the river in Ohio. And that's where I spent my entire career, in Ohio. And I coached for about 10 years after that. Got into administration and worked 44 years in the public schools in Ohio. And I'm still working now. I work with a nonprofit agency that's Ohio-based, helping to feed children on weekends and during the summer and after school. And it's very rewarding. I've been doing that now for 6-7 years.
good for
And-
you.
And really enjoy it.
What part of Ohio?
I live right between
All worked
Cincinnati
out
and
for you,
Dayton.
Tom.
Pardon?
Sounds like it all worked out for you and good for you. I'm sure you worked hard at it.
Well, I did, but I almost didn't go to college. I tried to get into the military after high school. We were all coal miners and didn't have a lot of money. And I wondered how I was going to make it through college if I ever did go. And I failed the physical. And, I thought, what am I going to do now? And my high school guidance counselor called me and said, there's some people that's going to be at the school tomorrow from Nebraska. And they've got a little college out there, and they want to recruit people. And I thought, okay, I'd go up and take a look at it. I took a day off work, and I thought this was a good deal.
Tom, that was your lucky day.
I enjoyed my time there, and my wife's from Kansas. We met in Scottsbluff, but she's from Kansas, and so I enjoyed it out there. It was a different way of life. I enjoyed the hunt. I enjoyed fishing, and when we went up to northern Nebraska, every day after school, I was hunting or fishing. I was coaching, but it was different. But met a lot of great people at Scott and Hiram Scott at Scottsbluff, and every once in a while somebody will pop up and they'll have an association with Hiram Scott.
Yeah. I see Val Janseni's coming on now.
Okay.
Tom, do you have children and grandchildren?
I'll be there in a second. I got a couple things first, then I'll be on, guys.
Okay.
Do you have any children and grandchildren, Tom?
Yeah, I've got a daughter that's 42, got a son who is adopted from an orphanage. We adopted him 20-some years ago from the country of Albania.
Okay.
My daughter did a lot of missions work before she got married. And so our heart bled for those kids that were without families. And so we did that. And he just recently graduated from college, and he's an athletic trainer down in North Carolina.
Okay.
Very
So,
generous.
pardon?
very generous.
Very generous. Yeah.
Well,
Andy.
and again, you know, not necessarily my upbringing, but you know, God just changed our heart about some
Yeah.
things. And so he's blessed us that we could do that. And we're richer for it, honestly.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I think Hiram Scott changed the trajectory of a lot of our lives.
Yeah.
My life, I think I would have ended up in Dyke Shopwell in New York and Queens, putting lettuce on the top of a fruit stand and having old ladies yell at me that it wasn't fresh enough.
And you would have done it very well, Pete.
I would have done it very well, Morris. Very
Nah,
well.
you'd have gotten fired. You'd have been fired.
Thank you, Sam.
You'd have thrown the lettuce at some old lady.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, I've been out riding again.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't been posting it, but Saturday I was out riding. You know, the weather here, I don't know how it was in Connecticut, but the weather here was rainy in the morning. I mean, it was just pouring. And by afternoon, the sun comes out. The minute I get out on my bike, 12 miles out,
It rains.
it starts coming down and the wind is blowing at 30 miles an hour. And thank God my wife came out and saved my ass.
Did you have to call her twice?
No, I didn't even call her. I was about 2 miles from home after about 30 miles, and there she was blinking her lights at me. She was worried.
Aha.
That's
I don't
sweet.
know why she's worried. She'd be wealthier without me, but you know what the hell do I know?
Well, that's the tracking device she has on you. She knew exactly where you were going.
Yeah, I have that. She has that program on my phone. She knows where I am at all times. All times.
just like the little kid, huh?
I'm coming up this spring. I'm gonna come up to you, Sam, and we're gonna ride over that damn bridge together.
Okay, you got to come to New Jersey then, because I'm down in Jersey in the summers. Not that far. Not that far from Morris.
Well, I'm
Closer
gonna be,
for you.
I'm gonna be down in Bethel. I'm gonna be down in Fenway, in
All
Delaware.
right, you just come across take the ferry across from us
Yeah, sure.
Delaware over to Jersey.
Yeah, I know.
We're right there.
Well, yeah,
We're
listen,
right there.
Pete, you'll be south and Sam is north of me, so you can meet at my house and I'll buy you a beer.
Where are you, in Cape May? Sam?
No.
Me, I'm in Barnegat by Long Beach Island.
Oh, you're in Long Beach Island.
Yeah.
And where's Sam?
I'm just across the river from Tom's River.
Oh, sure.
You'll be thirsty, Pete, when you do all that bike riding all over there to this guy's house.
Hey, how we doing?
Hi, Val. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Yeah, you could ride down the parkway, Sam.
On a bicycle? I
Val
don't think
was
so.
so damn young.
Got it. Andy,
Yeah,
what new problems in California are going on? You've either got floods or drought or pestilence of some kind. I think next thing you're gonna have is an earthquake.
yeah, well, please, don't wish that on us. I'll tell you,
I wish it
we
on you.
had, we had 15 what they call streams of water, streams. It's a weather stream where they just follow each other. They come right down from Alaska and they come down through Southern California, and we had 15 of them, consecutive ones, over a period of 3 months. And we had more rain here, and I've been out here now 40 years, and we had more rain I ever saw here. And the last time we had anything closer was 1983, when I moved. God, I was only in California for like 3 years, and had one earthquake that I felt pretty big. That's interesting. If you've never been in an earthquake,
No,
that'll wake your ass up. And then we just had a lot of rain. I live on a golf course, and with the drainage, for the main drainage for one of the areas of the golf course, literally goes right past my house. I have a brick wall that separates me from the rough and on.
I think you I think you posted a picture on Facebook on it.
Yeah, I
Did you?
probably did. Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
did a video because when
Yeah.
it starts to come down there, I mean, you could literally get in a boat. You know those rubber rafts that the kids use at the beach? You can get on one of those and go right down all the way to part of the road that floods every time because it floods right onto the road, the lowest point.
So you'll probably have forest fires by September then, huh?
Thank goodness we don't live anywhere near. I mean, if this state goes up in forest fires anywhere around here, it's going to be a long time before it gets to us. We have no forests, and we're pretty much in the middle of a real, almost a desert.
Okay.
Right.
My sister lives in Santa Barbara. She
Oh,
said
that's-
it's never been so cold in the winter as it has been this year.
Really
And she
cold.
said they actually have green grass.
And they doubled the price of natural gas. So instead of having during the winter, remember you had like $120 for a month, which was something that was, during the summer, it's like $15 a month. In the winter it goes to 120. This year I paid $280. I paid $270. And then finally, everybody complained so much they cut it. But it really would hurt a lot of people.
Was it cold there?
All you
when
gotta
went
do
out
is-
to visit?
It was
All
cold.
you gotta do is come to Philadelphia. We had 3/10 of an inch of snow this year.
That much?
Yeah, that much snow.
Gary, we didn't have that much.
Down here in Pennsylvania.
They said New York
Never
had
had
nothing.
measurable snow of any kind.
Yeah, I'm 7 miles from Philadelphia, New Jersey.
I did not use my snow blower once all winter.
No, I didn't even get mine out.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm sure you were disappointed by that.
Actually, it's still fun, believe it or not. I still like going out there and doing it.
I get mine out.
We came to Scotts Bluff this year and had a lot of fun.
Oh, I heard about that.
Have a lot of
They had
snow,
some.
Al?
You lots of
Out in
snow?
Nebraska?
Yeah, we had quite a bit, and it stayed on the ground probably for 3 straight months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
could even- I-
I
Was
mean,
it very cold?
yeah, it was the coldest winter we've had for quite a while. It actually was a real winter
Yeah.
this year, and like today, the high, we're probably at least 20 degrees colder than what the normal high is. We're in the low 40s today.
Wow.
I was 78 degrees yesterday.
It was almost 80 today here.
Yeah.
Well,
today
I could
got a
do that
little
too if I
cooler,
wanted to
but
turn my heat up.
It started getting warmer. Yeah, I mean, we haven't had real cold here in Pennsylvania all season.
We
Remember
took, we
we-
took, we
we're
took
the
care of that for you
Miami.
down here.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, we needed rain out here like you cannot believe it. Like, the state of California was in almost an emergency factor. We're starting to cut water. We have from time to time, it's really bad. You can only water your grass once a week or twice a week, and because we have a water problem. Well, the good news is that we're not going to have that this year. Of course, Lake Mead, if you've ever seen Lake Mead and Lake Powell, they've dropped down hundreds of feet, 200-300 feet over the last 8 or 9 years, which is really scary. We used to go to Lake Powell and take a houseboat out, and it was up here, and then we go to see it. They couldn't even have boat ramps because it was so, the water had drifted out. You couldn't even get a car in there to get on a boat. It was
How's it now?
oh, it's gone up. I would say probably maybe 50% or a little bit more. Yeah, and it's
Not
and when
as
it-
much- not as
and when
much-
the
not as
snow
much as
melts,
it used to.
yeah, when the snow melts, there's going to be problems. I can promise you. They have
Oh.
the highest snow melt in the mountains up in Mammoth, in the area where they measure it.
Yeah.
Almost a record. I think, in fact, a record.
Well, you got a lot of snow up there.
Oh, they got a lot of snow. I've got friends who live up in that area, and they got a lot. Well, we just even here outside of LA, up in Big Bear, which is people were in their houses. They couldn't get out of their house for a week at a time. Some of them needed medicine. Some of them needed medicine. Some of them had other problems, and they couldn't even get into them. It was so bad, and I've never seen it like that.
We've seen it on the news where, you couldn't see the house.
Yeah.
People were in it.
Yeah. We had over 10 feet of snow in an area that's never seen that before.
Mhm.
Morris, do you have a house on Long Beach Island that you have?
No,
Oh, but you go there for the summer.
yeah, no, we live in Barnegat, which is on, Long Beach Island is on the ocean.
Yeah,
And then there's Barnegat Bay, and we're on the other side. We're on the bay side.
and you have a house there.
Yeah,
Oh, good for
we
you.
lived here for about 17 years.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good for you.
Yeah. Gary was here yesterday.
Where were you, Mr. Sam?
What do you mean, where was I?
Are you?
still
I was down at Marsh's yesterday looking for you.
Too early, man. About a
Yeah,
month
I
early.
can't- I just kept on, don't leave, Gary. Sam will be here in a couple of minutes.
Is that right? And I waited. My wife and I we went out to lunch. We came back.
Yeah,
and no Sam.
No,
Uh,
Sam. You
yeah,
know, you can't count on Sam.
I'll be down in another month.
Where are you
rest of
now? In
summer?
Florida?
I'm sorry?
Are you in Florida now?
No, I'm Connecticut now.
Connecticut?
same
I have,
thing.
I have a son down in Florida. I was down there in February, I guess, and then in last month I hit my 50th state in visiting. I went to Oklahoma,
All right,
hit all 50 states now.
good for you. Good for you.
I'm still missing Maine. I've been in all of them but Maine.
Yeah.
You gotta
What did
want to
do
go to
in
Maine.
Oklahoma?
I'm sorry.
What did you do in Oklahoma?
Well, this is funny because I went to Tulsa, and I've always been a Bob Dylan fan. And Bob Dylan, they opened a music center there. It's called the Bob Dylan Center in Tulsa. So I visited that. So that was my excuse for going to Oklahoma.
But he's not from Oklahoma.
No. Woody Guthrie is from Oklahoma, and he was
Right.
like a big fan of Woody Guthrie. So I guess Woody Guthrie opened a center for him, and so I guess there was room there for Bob Dylan too. So I guess so.
No, that was really nice of them in Oklahoma to open up something for Bobby Dylan.
Yeah, he's been my hero for a long time.
Or something?
I'm sorry.
What was Bob Dylan's real name?
His last name was Zimmerman.
Zimmer, yeah, he was a Jewish guy.
Yeah, his last name was Zimmerman. Bobby Zimmerman.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Remember when he got booed off the stage when he picked up the electric guitar at the
That was in
jazz-
65. 1965, Newport Folk Festival.
Yeah, I was there.
You were?
Were
Oh
you
my God.
booing?
I wasn't booing, no. I didn't care.
That was before your Harm Scott days.
You got your finger in front of the camera there, Sam.
Oh, sorry.
Can't see you can't see your.
Now we
beautiful
good?
face when you do that.
Are we good now?
Yeah. Yeah, that was long ago. And it,
Oh, yeah.
I wonder every day I wake up where all the years have gone.
They go faster and faster as we get older, too, don't they?
Yeah, it's just really annoying.
Annoying.
I'm heading
Yeah, I
out
guess
to
you could say
tomorrow
that.
For a couple of weeks.
Morris, did you make any progress on your looking for the fellow with the
The
sword
sword?
family?
No, well, a little bit, but not much. We've got an inquiry. Gary and I were talking about it yesterday. I've got an inquiry now into the World War II Museum in New Orleans.
Okay.
Because they covered both, coasts. They covered, the Pacific and Europe. And if he was in the unit that I think he was, that is on the sword, towards the end of 1945, they split off a significant segment in Europe after the Battle of the Bulge and sent them out to the Pacific. But I don't know whether he made it that far, whether he was captured in the Battle of the Bulge. Tom, what we're talking about is I have an officer's ceremonial sword from somebody who was in the 106th Infantry from 1938.
Wow.
And my son-in-law found it at a construction site. And I'm trying to find the owner of it, or if not him, at least his family. And if I can find them, then I'm gonna go wherever they are and give them the sword.
Mhm.
That's very nice.
So, no,
Do
I'm
you
still,
have- Do you have that sword right there?
yeah. Yeah,
Grab it for a sec. It's really nice. I don't know if it was an officer's sword.
yeah, I'm sure it was an
ceremonial
officer's sword. I don't know if you can, I think you can see this.
Oh, yeah.
A little whited out.
Yeah, well, let me see what I can do about it.
There we go.
Well preserved.
It's well preserved. It's all scrolled.
Look at
Oh,
that.
wow. Very
It's
nice.
It's
Beautiful.
got his name on it. It's got the 106th Infantry, 1938, the name of the sword company that made it. There's the fellow's name.
Huh.
And
That's fascinating.
probably my biggest challenge right now is getting to the point where everybody agrees what his
This
name is. Because the scroll makes it really hard,
right in here.
makes it, some of the letters make it
Those
difficult
letters.
to read. And so that's what I'm doing, but it is, I say it's a ceremonial, it's an officer's, ceremonial award when somebody becomes an officer and they give him a sword.
And where did your son-in-law find it?
Pardon?
Where did your son-in-law find it?
In a construction site in New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Wow.
And when I first started looking, I tracked it down to, in 1938 in New York, there was 106th National Guard unit. And in 1938, they were brought into the Army in preparation for war. And it became the core of the 106th Regiment for the Army, with multiple divisions and so forth from different places. Most of them were in Europe during the war, and as I said, towards the end of the war, they split off a large segment and sent them to the Pacific. So that's I don't know, I'll call it a hobby because it's going to take a while to actually, find the family if I can. But I've got multiple things, like I said, checking with World War II Museum in New
Have you-
Orleans. Also,
have you
I've got an inquiry into military records.
Have you looked on eBay?
On social
Looked on
media.
eBay at all? Morris, going to see what they have for sale on eBay?
Oh,
If they-
I went to, I've talked to a guy from the 106th and knows the history of the 106th, and he checked all of his records that he had, but he couldn't find it.
Wow.
So I'm still searching. But like I say, one of the things I got to do is get to the point where, somebody that's better than I am, or Gary, at reading that script, where his name is, and saying, yes, that's an A, not an O, not an E, or an, and so forth. I took it to an antique dealer here that specializes in weapons and antique weapons and World War II weapons. And he thought it was in great shape, which it is. And he quickly offered me $250 for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure
it
he
was
would.
worth a lot more than that.
I told him, no, it wasn't for sale. Not at this point, anyway.
But you can go to a calligrapher and ask them what they'll be able to tell you. If I'm sure you have one in the area.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that out.
Interesting,
but-
interesting.
Because the
So that's-
first name,
That's part
near
of,
the end of the first name, yet you
yeah.
can't distinguish what the letters
Just a
are.
second, let me. What I've figured out so far is that I think his name was Torriello, Rossfjord. And it was the 106th Infantry. The date 1938 is on the sword. So I'm confident of the date. And the company that made it is a New York company. And I've tried to contact them, but I've not gotten anywhere with them.
It's
They still in
conceivable he's
business?
still alive. My father-in-law is born in 38 and he's still alive.
Yeah. Oh, hey, listen, he might be alive. Hopefully, he did, survive the war. There were a lot of people killed in the Battle of the Bulge, and a large number, then went prisoner of war camps. And a lot of them didn't make it through that.
Probably some family somewhere though, I would
Yeah,
think.
well, I think if I can get it down to where then I can go to some of the genealogy sites and, once I'm confident of the name,
Yeah.
and maybe track it through genealogy.
Well, I hope you find them.
Yep, me too.
That would be exciting if you found them.
Yep.
Does anybody follow the NCAA tournament?
Oh, did
Yeah,
they have that?
I was rooting for Connecticut.
All right.
I had a problem because I lived next to San Diego and I go there a
I'll
lot.
bet.
And,
I'll
and
bet.
I went to Cheshire Academy in
Oh, okay.
Cheshire,
Yeah.
Connecticut. So
Yeah.
what am I going to do? So I figured that, UConn was going to kick ass. They were really.
Yeah, but did you put your money where your mouth is?
I don't bet on anything like that anymore. I was a Steeler fan for a long time. Still am actually. But no more betting on Steelers. That's for sure.
You remember, I spoke to Herzog recently. I tried to get him to join this group, and I guess I haven't had much success, but he went to University of Connecticut at Storrs. And he went to the graduate program. I don't think he finished it, or at least that's what he told me. But he said he enjoyed it there, but I like the University of Connecticut. I think it's a great school. Great
Yep.
basketball.
UConn's a good school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it was certainly an entertaining winter for me.
Yeah, I
What's
bet.
that?
I say it was certainly an entertaining winter for me watching their games and going to them.
Did they have any losses?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They started out 14-0.
You had
And
8.
January came and they lost 6 out of 8.
Yeah.
They were rated as high as number 2. And then by the end of January, they were like 24-25. They almost dropped out of the top 25. And then they started winning. Actually, they didn't even win their tournament, the Big East tournament. And
They did.
they started out in the tournament, and won 6 in a row. So there you go. they are
won the
good.
whole thing.
Pardon?
In the end, nobody cares how many they lost before that, right?
Yeah.
They won it all.
So now I'm kind of lost because no more basketball.
Well,
You got
yeah, the
baseball.
NBA, I guess, but
Yeah.
Anything?
Well, are you keeping busy with your new governor out there?
Yeah, I was with him actually yesterday. I was with the new senator, the former governor yesterday for 2 meetings. And then when you guys are talking military stuff, I got requested to speak for the congressman next week. The 1057th Military Police Unit's coming back to the States. They're supposed to be in Fort Bliss right now. And there's going to be some of them at the airport in Scotts Bluff. So I'm going to get a pre-scripted welcome to those guys and read it up at the airport for them.
Where have they been? Where have they been?
I'm not totally sure. I'm gonna do a little research on that before
Okay.
that happens, but yeah.
Val, my niece in Columbus, Nebraska, has
Okay.
cut the governor's hair long before he was the governor, years and so forth. She's still cutting his hair. He comes to Columbus to get his hair cut.
So Pillin heads up that way, huh?
Yeah, yeah. He invited her to the governor's ball and so
Alright.
she's almost like a member of his family.
That's
what
pretty
part of
cool.
Nebraska is Columbus?
Oh, northeast.
Is it northeast?
Yeah.
I never even heard of it.
One of the guys I used to coach with in Alliance ended up moving from Alliance to there, and he was the head girls coach for a number of years. So that's why I paid a little attention to those guys.
Ah,
Good.
good, good.
Where did,
Anybody
you go?
doing
There he
anything
is.
interesting or have any interesting plans?
What's that, Pete?
Anybody have anything interesting going on or any interesting plans?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to my 60th high school reunion next month.
Wow,
Down in
they're gonna let you really graduate?
No. This is not the school. This is a funny story. This is,
No, no,
I'm-
I'm just saying, did you really graduate from high school?
yes, I did. I have the paper to prove it.
Good for you.
Anybody
Okay.
recognize this?
Oh, yeah,
Bobby
sure.
Yeah.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
such
yeah.
a shame.
Do you remember when he spoke at school?
I took that picture
Yeah.
right at the airport, standing right next to him. It was only like 4 months before he was assassinated.
That was such a shame.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
That was a shame. Just such a shame.
Yeah.
I wonder what would have happened with America if those two assassinations never happened.
Who knows?
I wonder what the different course might have been.
Those are questions you can never answer.
You think about little Hiram Scott sitting out there in the middle of cornfields,
Yeah.
and Dr. Stromer and
Mark
Oh,
Stroman.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that were very influential in bringing people out there, big time news reporters, the politicians that were running for president for,
Right.
McGovern was there, I believe. Does that sound right? McGovern?
Well, we had.
Reagan came out.
Who?
Reagan was there.
Reagan was,
I've got a picture with
Remember the
Reagan.
actor, Basil Rathbone was there.
Yeah,
Gerald Ford was there.
yeah, Pierre
He
Salinger,
was Speaker of the House then, I believe.
yeah, Pierre Salinger was
But
there.
that little
Yeah.
college just, we had some strong influence to bring people like that out there. And of course, that was, they were trying to get votes as well. But that exposure was fun. Back in, I guess it was around 68, 69, something like that.
It was
70.
called the Congress of American Politics that he brought out there. I still have the literature from it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really great to listen.
that's
to
where that
those
picture was.
people Speak.
That picture I just showed you was from that.
I wonder whatever happened to Marinaccio.
He died.
We all died, Sam. But I hope.
Well, he ended up in Florida.
Yeah, he wound up in Florida.
Marinaccio did?
Hey, guys.
Hello, Fran.
Hello, Francis.
How you guys doing?
Okay.
Hi, Francis. Doing well.
We were doing well.
I'm doing
We were
well.
talking about you earlier, but we don't want to repeat it.
I did have this itch. I didn't know where it was coming from.
What year did you graduate from?
71.
A year after me.
Yeah.
You graduated
Is
with.
is that the last graduating class?
Probably.
71?
I gotta figure out how to get this volume up on this.
I think 71 was the last graduating class, and then they kept the college open that summer for one semester, and that was it.
That was,
Yeah.
I felt so bad about that. I wish the school would have made it. But
You know, Vietnam was over. There was no need to go to Nebraska.
Yeah. When I was at Hiram Scott, I had student loans, government student loans. And they weren't a lot, but they were something. And when the college closed, I graduated in 70, was back in New Jersey teaching. When the college closed, I contacted somebody out there, I don't remember who, and said, okay, where do I send my payments now? Never heard anything from anybody. Didn't know where the transcripts went or anything else. Fast forward about 9 years, and one night I was sitting at dinner and I get a phone call from somebody that says, hey, you didn't pay your student loan and we're the collections company. And so I worked it out with them because as a teacher, I got credit for each year and so forth. Now, by the time we settled everything out, I think I had to pay them, $345 or something. But they tracked me down 9 years later.
That's about the same time they got a hold of me too. They didn't act threatening. They said, you owe this much. I said, well, where do I send it to? So then I made some payments and got it done with.
Yeah.
They waited until I was 75 to give me a call.
You
A lot of
serious?
those- a lot of those guys who didn't get to graduate from Hiram Scott went down to Missouri, didn't they?
Tarkio,
Okay,
yeah,
Went down to where?
Tarkio, Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah, my father went to college in Tarkio, Missouri.
Yeah,
Is that school still in existence?
I don't think so.
you guys remember Tom Rigner?
Yes.
Okay, Tom, I think that's where Tom graduated from. He had to go like one semester or 1 year to finish it out. But boy, that was a mess for those kids.
Yeah, it was. It was. My father went to Tarkio on a football scholarship. And his job was to wind the clock once a week. Tower and he went there for a year and couldn't play football all year, so he quit. But yeah,
Morris, you're originally from Nebraska, right?
mostly, yeah.
Okay,
I lived all over. By the time I moved to New Jersey in 1970, I had moved 22 times in my life.
Really?
We moved
Oh
a
my
lot.
God.
I lived in, I don't know, 5 or 6 towns, 7 towns in Nebraska, 2 or 3 in Colorado, Idaho. We moved around a lot.
Was that because of you or Rosemary?
No, my father would come home and say, we're moving. I got another job over here and it's going to be great. And he was always chasing a dream.
Well,
We do that. I thought he was involved in the water sprinkler business for a while.
Yeah.
irrigation consulting and testing.
One time he sold insurance and was a top salesman for one of the insurance companies. And I guess that wasn't a challenge anymore. And he found another dream and so forth. But at any rate,
You got married, you ended up in New Jersey, right?
pardon?
After you got married, you ended up in New Jersey, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, when I graduated in 70, Rosemary graduated in 68,
Right.
came back to New Jersey. She was teaching. So when I graduated in 70, I said, let's see, I can go out there and get a job. Or I can have her come here and we'll both be unemployed. So I packed everything I had into my car. I had a 64 Oldsmobile convertible, Dynamic 88. And I took the chair out of the lobby of Park Hotel that I was sitting in when I met Rosemary, packed it in put the top down, packed it in there with everything else, and headed to New Jersey.
You still have the chair?
I do. It's in my living room. Absolutely.
Good for you.
Yeah. No, I had been at Gary and I had been at a party at Dale Tamburini's house. And I saw,
I forgot about Dale.
yeah, I saw Rosemary at the party and I asked Dale to get me a date with her. And so he called me about 2 weeks later and said, hey, I got you a date, with Rosemary for the dance, for the winter dance. I said, wonderful. Who is that? I had forgotten all about it, but it worked out.
Apparently.
And that was the history of it, huh?
That was the history of it.
Good for you. You've been together ever since and.
Yep.
good for you.
Yeah, we're going on 53 years married this year.
Well, that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, you were there.
Doesn't come for free.
No, and it's still not free.
No, I understand. I mean, relationships take a lot of work.
I'll be 51 in about 3 days.
Wow.
51 years, same women.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just hit 49, so
Yeah, good.
something to look forward to.
I'll be 51 this year.
Yeah,
I'm the low man. I'm the low man on total 33 years. But I
Yeah.
didn't get married until I was 40. I held on for a long time.
Very wise of you, Andy.
How long? you been-
Look, hindsight is absolutely true. I'm glad I did.
Well, I'm 33 years with the second one.
yeah,
Right, you got married in 90 then, right?
What'd you
Peter?
say?
You got married in 1990?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did to Diane, and she's been a great ally and a great friend and a great mother to Alex.
Good.
I had 52 years in this coming August. So been a good ride.
Yeah.
52 years. Wow. Yeah.
I wish
You
we
know,
would have had a
it's
pool on
surprising
this.
How many of the guys that I speak to, whether it's Herzog or you guys, and all of us seem to have done fairly well in our life.
Yep.
And it's something to be proud of.
By the way, Tom, you mentioned Dave Brock. He comes into these and, out of them, periodically. He's been in quite a few. He's having a lot of health problems.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
Yeah, at this point. So we haven't seen him for what, Gary, maybe 3-4 months.
Yeah, 3
He
or 4
popped into
months.
one not too long ago, a couple of months ago, but didn't stay too long.
Yeah, his health seems very challenged.
I heard from him a couple weeks ago on Facebook, so he's still around.
Where's
Okay.
he at?
Florida, I think.
He's in
And
Florida.
Sokola,
Yeah, he's in Florida.
Tom, I don't remember if you remember John Sokola. He was also from Pittsburgh, as
Yeah.
was Burrell. And they joined from time to time.
Bob Burrell.
John is usually in here.
Bob?
Bob Burrell was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He and I,
John is still in Pittsburgh.
he and I drove home together a time or two. Yeah,
Andres was from Pittsburgh too.
Right.
yeah.
Who's that?
Steve Andres.
Yep.
Okay, yep.
Mhm.
He was another one of my little brothers.
Hiram Scott recruited a lot in the Northeast, whether it was Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or New York or New
or
Jersey.
Connecticut. Connecticut,
Connecticut.
yeah, Cheshire Academy. They came to Cheshire Academy.
I remember.
Yeah, I know you remember that, Pete.
My oldest son went to Avon Old Farms in Connecticut.
Okay,
That's just down the street from me.
yeah,
We had a big
Alright.
group.
What'd you say
That's
about
where
Avon Old
Cor-
Farms?
Corbin went to high school.
Who's that?
He went to, my oldest son, Corbin, went to high school at Avon Old Farms.
That's just down the street from me, Pete. I swear to God, it's a stone's throw from where I live.
Really?
I live in Avon.
God, I used to be in and out of there traveling to go see him.
How about that? I mean, you talk about lost in the woods, huh?
Well, I'll tell you. Middle of nowhere, Sam, middle of nowhere.
Did he go there 4 years?
Great.
That's a great school. Really is.
Well, it's a school for some troubled children. It was like 7 kids in a class. You didn't do your homework. They came and got you by the collar.
just like Cheshire Academy.
Hey,
He
Pete.
he got there illiterate, and he when he left, he was able to read and write.
He did 1965. Hiram Scott was a school for troubled students.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
That was
Here's
me.
I think the
Now-
first
now
year
we're
there,
also- Gary's
there
a
were like
great
4
example.
kids from Nebraska at the school.
I
Everybody
was-
else was from Chicago, New York,
Yeah,
Was there anybody there that
Yeah.
wasn't troubled?
I mean, how many
No.
schools did a lot of us get thrown out of just to get there?
I don't think the nun who went to school was a troubled soul, but no. A lot of people from the East Coast went out there.
No doubt.
What were there, about 500 of us in the first class?
Yep.
Yeah, something that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the
somewhere
second
around there.
class in 1966 in the spring, just because Gary kept me from going to class and made me party all the time, they sent me a letter that if I didn't have a 1.4 average by the end of the semester, that I was gone. And I had met Rosemary at that time, and Rosemary started walking me to class to make sure I went and, so forth. And at the end of that semester, I had a 1.41.
Got it.
You were really killing it, Morris.
Yeah, but I had a 4.0 my last semester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
1.0?
But you
Oh,
never know. So
whoa.
I
made
would
it by
never have seen,
100th of a point.
I've never seen grades like that in my life.
You guys remember Dean Weiss?
Yeah.
Yep.
You do?
Does
Sure.
anyone remember Dr. Samuel?
Yeah,
Oh, God, he was awful. But You know, I mean, he was teaching all the business courses and business law and business whatever. That poor guy was just challenging.
Who was the chemistry teacher?
Dr. Robinson,
Who?
Robinson.
No, not that. He was in chemistry. He was biology.
Oh, he was, that's right. He's the only guy that ever gave me an A in the sciences. I still haven't figured out why.
I
It's your
took my
charming
final,
personality, Pete.
I took my final,
Thank you,
yeah,
Jack.
I took my final examination. And the last page of my examination stuck together and I thought I was done with it. I handed it in and I came back with like a 75. I guess it was probably 4 pages of it. And I knew that I aced the damn thing. And he, obviously at the time, he wouldn't take and let me, you know, when I found out about it, he wouldn't let me do anything about it. But when I finally got my marks, he upped it to that, upped it to like an A that I had there for that.
Really?
But yeah,
That was nice of him.
yeah, he didn't have to do it. But like it says, the last page stuck together, you know, when the mimeograph page stuck together for his. And boy, I was lucky out of that deal, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yep, I don't think so too.
I still remember your Drosophila. I think about it all the time. Your Drosophila, Fran. Remember doing that? Those bugs you raised
Oh, yeah.
in biology? You brought them into the dorm.
I'll tell you what, the best one was, we were doing something for biology and am I still on? Something happened on my
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
Okay, there it is. I had something with a maze with rats. Well, I went away for Christmas vacation. And I never fed the damn things, but there was a guy there, he was supposed to feed. Well, what happened was the rats got out of the cage
Boy.
and they ate the other guy's mouse.
Ate the other guy's mouse?
Yeah, the guy was doing something with mice, I don't know, and maybe he was I don't remember, it was so long ago, injected him or something. But my rats got out of the cage and went over to his mouse and ate the guy's mouse.
Nice, nice. That was great. That's interesting.
Nobody said we were geniuses. We just worked hard. And partied hard.
Where'd
It was all Marcia's fault.
Yeah, you know, guys, we've been doing this for over a year now.
Hmm.
By the way, Tom, what I do after this finishes is I'm recording the whole thing, and you probably got a notice when you signed in, but what I do is then I post them all up on YouTube. So if anybody wants to go in and watch them, and there've been a couple of guys that told me they watch them. We got maybe, routinely about 8 or 9 people, 10 people that watch them afterwards. It doesn't tell me who it is, but so there's guys that don't attend that do watch it.
I think we
If
should-
you know anybody out there that,
somehow we could put a reunion together where we get together in person for a weekend somewhere in the world, in America, not the world.
well, we have to just figure it far enough ahead of time.
You guys one of the board members at our HOA, his name is Tom Thurman, was from Scotts Bluff. And somehow he found out that I been going to Hiram Scott. And we've actually become not real good friends, but we're good acquaintances. And he just got remarried about a week or two ago, and everybody's congratulating him on Facebook. And I wrote there, I go, oh, well, you're going to Scotts Bluff for your honeymoon? Ironically, he goes, no, I'm not. We're going to Hawaii first, but then we're going to drive across the country, and we're definitely going to have Hiram's Scotts Bluff on our itinerary. So it's kind of neat.
Val, many times, I'd love to go back to Scotts Bluff and see what it's like now. I'm
I,
sure Big Pizza's gone. I'm sure Buddy Bar is gone. I know the
Buddy
bowling
Bar.
alley's gotta be
Oh,
gone.
incidentally, speaking of Buddy Bar,
That's a
Yeah.
child star place now.
Don
Child-
Comstock.
Val?
Speaking of Buddy Bar, the guy that owned it, Don Comstock passed away 2 or 3 years ago.
That was his name?
His name was Don, the owner of the bar was Don, and his last name was Comstock.
I didn't know that. I remember when I turned 20, they remember the big glass of beer? And they kept filling it up when they wanted to get you drunk on your birthday. And I got so gosh darn polluted. I don't know. I think I crawled out into the street. Yeah.
I got so drunk there one night, I was blowing the balls on the pool table around. And I'll never forget that. What are you doing on the table, Elise? Oh, I'm blowing the pool balls around me. That was it. I was on the floor. I don't remember much after that.
I never went in.
Nickel night.
What
And the
is,
whole floor was covered with peanut shell.
Val, what is it like there now compared to back at 70?
It's quite a bit of a change now. Yeah, I mean, with Walmart and Home Depot and things like that around the street where like Corks and Cans are at, that there's McDonald's and Burger King and Dairy Queen and
Scotty's is still there, isn't it?
Buddies.
Scotty's,
Oh, Scotty's, yeah, Scotty's is still around.
the
Is it
drive-in.
really?
The administration building and classes is now University of Nebraska and Extension.
Yeah, UNL
Building.
Extension.
Skinner Hall is still there. It's a veteran.
Yeah, that's Veterans Home. And then
Yeah.
one of the buildings right south of the classroom area that's UNL's now is the State Patrol's building.
Right.
Is the bowling alley still there?
There are 3 bowling alleys in the area. The one in Scotts Bluff's been shut down a little bit. The one on 10th Street in Gehring is still open. Then the one all the way on the south side of Gehring is still open as well.
But the
what
one
about the,
Howard Harvey owns is gone, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's what
Hey,
we used to
fellas.
hang out in.
I got something to show you here.
All right.
I hope I can get it on the screen. Does anybody remember?
Oh, of course.
How
Move
about this? How about
move
this
it-
far?
it over, move it
Move
over,
it towards the center.
Put it in front of
Move
your
toward the
face.
center.
so you can see it.
Move it the other way.
turn
keep going,
more, keep going,
Keep
keep
going.
going.
Keep
keep
going.
going, keep going.
Going.
Oh, there we go, just Stein.
Wow.
You remember that?
I have one of their mugs.
Oh, football jersey we had.
Do any of you remember the street that the fraternity house was on?
West 19th.
That's correct.
118,
Still
wasn't
there.
it?
805
118?
West
I sent you
19th.
a while back, didn't I?
Pardon?
I sent you guys a picture of it a while back, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
guy
it's
that
still
lives
there.
there- the guy that lives there hasn't done one thing to the house since we
Yeah.
were there.
It looked better when we had it.
It looked
Does
way
anyone
better when we
remember-
had it. It's bad right now.
Does anyone remember when O'Leary came to the house going out hunting? And he said he shot a bird and he opens up his trunk and out comes a bald eagle flying.
Oh, not good.
O'Leary was a little crazy at the time. I don't think he changed much later on, but
Wasn't it O'Leary that had the hearse?
No, no.
remember that.
Who had the hearse?
He was there first. He was only there a couple semesters. First, can't remember. He was from New Hampshire or
South Carolina.
no, that's Dave O'Leary.
Yeah,
South
Dave O'Leary.
Carolina. But he didn't have the hearse. That was another fella that had the hearse.
Somebody had a hearse.
It was another fella. There was somebody there that had a hearse, but it wasn't Dave
Yeah.
O'Leary.
Because
No.
we just take it to the drive-in and park it sideways.
They-
He had a
they
couch
was
in the
little
back.
crazy at the time. They was interesting. I should have gone to see him before he left the earth. He was up in Cape Cod.
Yeah, he was a boat captain, wasn't he, Pete?
I don't know what he was, but
I'm pretty sure he was.
I was
We're,
up in Falmouth with my wife. My wife's family has a house in Falmouth, and we were talking, but it was 80 miles to go around to get to him, and I got lazy and didn't go.
Who was out on Cape Cod? Pete?
My wife,
Okay.
my wife's family has a house in Falmouth, right on the ocean.
Falmouth Forsyths, I know that place.
You know, Leary was somewhere on the Cape, but it was like 80 miles around.
The Provincetown.
If I went by boat, it was quicker, but by car, you had to go all the way around.
Yep. Up in the Provincetown?
No, the other way. I think it was the other way. I don't remember exactly. I lose track. I had spoken to him and,
I used to spend a lot of my
he
summer,
had a heart attack and unfortunately died.
I used to spend a lot of my summers up in Chatham.
Chatham.
Yeah,
My
Oh,
family actually founded Chatham way
really?
back in the 1860s. Yeah,
Wow.
they're part of called the Nickerson family. And Nickerson
Grew up
State
in New
Park,
Jersey.
and yeah, they founded Chatham, Massachusetts. And we go up there for we have a reunion every year, the weekend after Labor Day.
Uh-huh.
And we get a couple hundred people. I mean, it's like a world organization for ancestry. And we have 2 houses that do nothing but genealogy work up there.
Mm,
On about 6 acres of ground and right outside of Chatham. So, yeah, I love that place.
Mhm.
Love to go up there.
It is pretty. It is gorgeous up there.
Yep.
I'm heading up at the end of June. My wife's family has a reunion up there every year. And this year it's at her family house
Oh, okay.
in Falmouth.
Okay. Been to Falmouth many times.
Yeah. And a lot of them live up there all year round, which creates, I hate to say this, creates a lot of drunks up there.
What else is there to do?
Now, in the winter, you can't drink the water up there anymore. Because it was polluted by the United States government. I don't know how it was polluted. They have to deliver water. They've been delivering water to my father-in-law for 50 years.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, you can't drink the water. So there's been a lot of cancers up there.
Fellas, I hate to do this. I got to roll though.
All right.
Val, it was nice to see you.
Val, good to see you.
Take
Val,
care,
go
Val.
recruit some more people.
Hey, Val, stay warm.
Hey,
Let's
hey,
stay
hey,
indoors.
come on, I'll see you.
All right, take care, you guys.
Take
Hey,
care,
all right,
bud.
take it easy, Val.
All right, you too.
You be well.
All right, thanks.
Hey, has anybody heard anything new as far as Dan Elmer?
I have not.
No,
Yeah. Dan Elmer used to sit in on these regularly, and apparently, just out of nowhere, he lost his hearing
Really?
completely. And last I heard was that it was starting to come back a little bit. But I think it was Val that had talked to him, or somehow connected with him. I sent him an email, but I haven't heard back from him. But just out of clear blue sky, he completely lost his hearing.
I keep trying to twist Herzog's arm to join us, but to no success.
Yeah, send me his number, I'll call him.
What's that?
Sav
Send me his
Grimaldi.
phone number, I'll call him.
I'll text it to you.
Okay.
Sav Grimaldi. What's he still with his girlfriend or something? Or
Who, Sav?
yeah, Sav.
Yeah. Yeah, Sav's got I don't know how new, but Sav has a girlfriend that I think is taking up a lot of his time right now. And I'm gonna be going down to see my brother again, and so I'll probably stop by and see Sav. I stopped by on the way down and have lunch with him.
Where does he live?
Who, Sav?
Yeah.
Next to Silver Springs, Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
Right outside Washington.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
area. Nice area. I like that area.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy,
Yes,
How bad did you get hit with the rains out there?
I was telling them before, we got hit pretty bad. Now where I live, we're pretty high up, but there are some places that got really flooded really badly in LA, and they had a tornado in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago. Which I haven't had since 1983, and this one was like a 1, which is not even anything, but it was enough to tear some shit up. I mean, some heavy duty stuff, and they have still haven't recovered from that. And but we did get a lot of snow, over 10 feet of snow up in the local mountains. Everybody was happy to have ski runs available. However, nobody could get there. You literally couldn't get up the road. So it's since gotten better, of course. And like we said earlier in this group, that we're going to have 80-degree weather here on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We haven't seen that in years. It seems like we don't get that kind of weather till June, so we're really excited about that.
The water table should be up pretty good now, isn't it?
It's come up 50% in some places, a little higher in others. We would like to see Lake Mead get some more water in it, and we'd like to see Lake Powell get some more water in it. And when the snow starts to melt, which is coming up shortly, obviously, we're going to have the Colorado River is going to have a lot more water, and that a lot of 40 million people rely on that
I
water.
read some stuff on that, and they said a lot of that water was going to run off into the ocean.
Yeah, they can't store it.
Right. There's
But
nothing you
40
can do.
40 million people rely on the water from the Colorado River, so that's going to be a great boon for them.
Yeah, that's just California.
No, it's California and New Mexico and Arizona.
No, I mean, that 40 million, that's probably
Yeah.
just California.
No, it's
Oh, is it all of them?
all along the river there that
Okay.
they get the value of that.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last week, New Jersey has really, very mild weather. We don't get terrible bad storms of any kind. Last week, we had 6 tornadoes
Oh, God.
in one storm go through F2, go through Tom's River and that area of New Jersey and through the shore, did a lot of damage.
Yeah, you remember
Last
that.
year, we had 4 tornadoes all year. And so far this year, I think we've had at least 6, maybe 8.
Wow.
So, yeah, Rosemary and I actually sat in an interior bathroom in the house for about 20 minutes, because they went just north of us. But that never happens in Jersey.
Scary.
Yeah,
You didn't claim the throne, did you?
No, no. I know I had to stand. Rosemary was sitting on the throne.
Scared the shit out of them, I tell you.
Yeah.
oh, God.
No, but weather all over is crazy.
Yeah, it's been a very crazy year. California's got the benefit of it. They said now there is nowhere in California that they have got a drought anymore. That may change, but as of right now, they used to have severe drought out in the desert where we get a lot of the cashew nuts and this huge
Yeah.
farming, a lot of stuff, and they got enough water to get them through certainly this year. And when you look at the picture where they show all the red that was bright red, none of it's bright red anymore. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Where are most of the wine country? Where is that? Is that north, south, east?
Well, we've got 35 wineries about a mile away from my house. They have a very big wine country here in Temecula. The growings, the climate is on 19. If you look at the climate books, where they show you different areas, and they have like a 19, whether that means where it's warm during the day, and then at night the dew goes up underneath the leaves of the wine of all the wine plants, all the vineyards, and then during the day it feeds itself. And that one area right up past Temecula, we've got, oh man, I'm probably close to 30 30 wineries, and of course, with that, you have the tourists. It's become a very, very well-known tourist area. And they have some wines that have been highly rated. Peter would know better than that. I don't know. Do you know anything about Temecula Valley wines?
No,
Ripple, would it?
which valley, Andy?
Temecula, where I live, down here in
No, I have no idea.
San
I
Diego.
mostly follow French and Italian wine.
You
Okay,
still have
well-
that big wine cellar, Pete?
Yeah, I do. I have I'm down to my last 2,500 bottles.
Better drink them up for the weekend, huh?
2,500 bottles.
Yeah, yeah.
He has an
When-
amazing,
When I
he has
got
an
bored at
amazing wine
work,
cellar.
when I was bored at work, I'd go wine shopping all over the country. Yeah,
What's your
Yeah, but-
favorite?
Doesn't Diane go out and buy wine and sell it and
my favorite is Ornellaia.
What is it?
One of my favorites is an Ornellaia. It's from Italy. It's from Bulgari. The Ornellaia and Maceto and all of these wines come off of the coast, where the Italians learned how to blend Sangiovese with Cabernet. And they've done it expensively and well.
So you like a real dry wine?
I don't know real dry, but I drink white Burgundy also, and I've been all over the world to different wineries, and I really enjoy it. I've enjoyed I was telling somebody tonight, I shared a bottle of 2009 Lynchburg, which is a left bank wine from Puglia, and I shared it with somebody, and I said, I love the wine, but I remember the experience of being there more than the wine.
Hmm.
The experience of being there and the experience of enjoying the owner and the roasted chicken and the roasted lamb and the fireplace that he served us was just an experience of a lifetime. So I've enjoyed the experiences, which makes me enjoy the wine.
Peter, have you ever heard of a wine from a winery called Donatoni?
No,
Okay, my wife's grandfather, family owned that winery. It's not a big winery, she's telling you. No, I know it's not, but I mean,
but I've been up in Washington State to the wineries. I've been up in Oregon. I've been in Napa and Sonoma, but I mostly traveled through Europe.
Yeah.
To different and into Italy and France and Spain. I've been fortunate. I've been very lucky.
Hey, Pete, here's a wine story for you. I've got a nephew. He's almost my age, but he's still a nephew. And he makes wine. He and three of his business partners get together and they go to this place where the guy lets them make wine. And they can, put any kind of grape, they can make any kind of wine they want. Well, one year, they've been doing this for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. And a couple of years ago, they mixed this grape and so forth, and they were short just a little bit in the barrel. And so the owner of the place said, we've got some over here, and they dumped that in to complete the barrel. And that way it won top honors all across the board, every place. And they don't have the recipe to complete it because they don't know what was dumped in for the last part of the barrel.
Wow. Did anybody ever watch? There was on Netflix a thing called SOMA, SOMA, which is how you become a sommelier. And what amazed me about it is the course was so difficult because there's not that many registered sommeliers in the world, is that even they cannot tell you what the hell they're really tasting. Whether it's a Brunello or a Barolo, or whether it's a Chianti or a Super Tuscan, they really don't always know the difference. So a lot of it is just the hype, and I'm sure at my age, my taste buds are pretty much well shot, especially after leaving Hiram Scott with all that beer in me.
Yeah.
I don't know the right answer to all of it, but
Where do you store it all?
I have a wine cellar.
It's climate controlled.
It is climate controlled. Unfortunately, if my father ever saw me, my father was a sanitation worker in the Bronx. He'd slap the shit out of me. They used to take, I remember when I went to my grandmother in Harlem, they used to bring out the big bottles with the screw tops
Yeah,
and bring out the little stogies, the Italian cigar thing.
I loved them when I smoked.
Hey,
Oh, you
Pete,
remember
here's a
that, huh?
question for you.
Oh, God.
Corks versus screw tops. Any difference?
I think not. I think corks are considered more romantic and I think a screw top is just easier. I mean, no,
Here's a bar trick for you. If you got to practice it, but you can make some money from it and get free beer. If you take a wine cork out of any wine bottle, because they're all standard, same size, same
Yes, sir.
length, width, everything. And if you take that cork and hold it on each end like this, and you hold it up at the right height above the table and drop it, it will bounce and land on its end every time.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good, if you practice, we were done one time in Ruth Chris having dinner. And I'd gotten a bottle of wine and my granddaughter was with us. And she was about 12. She had become fascinated previously about, this and so forth. And she absolutely perfected the height. And she sat there and she got it to land on its end 21 times in a row.
Make a lot of
she's
money
not
at a
old
bar
enough to
for
go in
that.
a barn.
I
Get it
want
from
you to
them.
know,
But you try it. Grab it on either end, hold it 1.5 times its height. The height is 1.5 times the cork's length. And you drop it, it will bounce and land on its end.
I save all my
What
corks.
fingers do you use?
It doesn't matter what cork it is.
What about your fingers? Is there to hold it? Is there any 2 fingers you should be using?
I don't know. I use, my middle finger and this, but I've used the other 2. The finger doesn't matter.
I'm gonna try that.
I'm gonna
Hey, guys, I'm gonna have to leave. So good
Yeah,
seeing you again.
hold
When's the
care.
next one,
On a hard
Morris?
surface.
Morris, when's the next show here? I gotta go. When's the next,
I accumulate
next
all my
one?
corks. And there's a-
The next one,
when I
the
get
next
enough-
one of these
yeah,
Pete, is gonna be May 4th.
okay.
All
All
right,
right.
I'll send out a note to everybody.
Take care, Andy.
All right, we'll see you later, guys.
Have a
Good
safe
seeing
care.
you
Take care, Andy.
again. All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
I
How do you out of
accumulate
here?
all my corks, and when they get enough of them, I take them down to the local, there's not a florist, but where you buy your plants and all your stuff. And they donate these corks to make soles for shoes for poor people.
Oh,
And when I walk in there with a big shopping bag full of corks, they wonder if I'm a bar.
And you drink a lot.
Yeah.
yeah,
I drink a
try that. Get a
couple of
cork
bottles
and-
here and there.
get a cork. And I believe, I haven't done it much, but I believe it works as well with the plastic corks.
Yeah, there are. Not
I
in.
know
not
it works
in-
with cork, but with the plastic, corks in wine bottles, I've done it a number of times with that as well. But you got to get the height just right.
But the corks have caused a lot of problems for wine.
Yeah,
Some corks go bad. And
right.
if you get a stinky bottle, it could be because the cork went bad and they call it cork wine.
Yeah,
It smells like rags and dirty weeds or something.
yeah,
But you never have that with a screw top.
yeah. Are there
I
any
made,
really fine, good wines that use screw tops?
I have not found, I'm sure there are. I just, the Chilean wines have a lot of screw tops and they're fabulous. And so are some of the Roja wines. The French don't use that, neither do the Italians yet,
Hmm.
which is most of my collection. But, and every now and then I think of selling some and making some of my money back, but doesn't seem
Buy
that.
it. Who'd buy it?
Oh, God, I could sell my wine on eBay or on
Okay,
Facebook
okay.
or pick a social media shop. All I have to do is list it.
Okay.
I sold, I used to buy a lot of futures, but I figure my future is short. And so I used to buy futures in the Bordeaux market, and I'd buy a case of X and sell half the case on social media and recover all my money.
Oh,
Not,
Yeah,
What
but you
you-
gotta know what you're doing. You
Well,
know, you can't buy a case of Ripple and hope to get
I
half of
read a
it
lot
back.
of publications about different wines and once they come out, wine is like any other agricultural product. If the weather's good and the rain is there and the weather is good, you're gonna get a good product. In Europe, you cannot irrigate. But in America, in California, you can irrigate. So, and their weather is always pretty stable unless they have a fire coming down the valley. My clients have, I had a client that lived in Santa Rosa. And at 3:30 in the morning, the son woke the mother up and said, "We gotta go." And they got in the car and the fire came right down through Santa Rosa. The only thing left was the lamppost.
Wow.
Hmm.
Between earthquakes and fires, it's not a great, shake and bake country isn't always perfect.
New Jersey's got some good wineries. I mean, they don't rival California, but they've got some, in our area that are produce some decent wines.
I think that's great. I don't know how I got into it, but it was better than smoking weed, which I did a little bit of for about 10 years. And
Yeah.
I finally grew up and figured I had to be coherent.
What, are you still waiting for that?
you were brilliant when you smoked it, weren't you?
Not totally, no.
You thought you were.
Yeah, I did.
The
You're
next
right.
morning you wake up and you go, what the hell did I write here?
It's not only what you're right, when you're smoking, you're eating too much too.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
And I got really heavy for a while and I didn't like it. Biking has kept the weight off a little bit.
Yeah. Tom, Pete rides, 20, 30 miles a day.
Yeah. I tried.
On a bicycle.
Oh, cycling,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm finding though? I'm finding the hills seem to get steeper. Either that or my legs are getting weaker. I rode with my 50-year-old son, who's a ski instructor up in Big Sky in Montana. And he rode from Montana to Los Angeles when the season ended 2 years ago. And trying to ride with him is just a bear. I mean, I can't keep up, unless he allows me to. He's in just perfect condition.
Hey, Sam, what are you doing?
What am I doing? What do you mean? I'm right here.
He's covering the camera.
All we could see is skin. Oh,
I'm sorry. I keep putting my fingers over the thing.
You put your finger over the camera, Sam.
I know.
It's hard to see you then.
I know. I'll never
Right.
get up. I'll never get this stuff down. It's right.
No, you're doing all right.
Nah,
Yeah, she can help you.
my techie is my 6-year-old grandson.
Ah, there you go. My techie's my 6-year-old.
that's good.
Well,
That's good.
I'm gonna take off now and
right,
really
good to see you.
appreciate having me.
Yeah,
Take care, Pete.
I'm gonna have to run too.
All right, Tom, thanks for coming in. We'll
Thank
meet
you.
the first Thursday of each month
Nice
No.
to see you, Tom.
at 8 o'clock.
Looking forward to putting you on a schedule. Yeah.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate it much.
You take care.
Well, take care.
Enjoy.
Be
Nice
well.
meeting you.
So
Have a
Sam,
good
you
month.
said you're coming down here. Hey, Sam, you said you're coming down when?
Probably sometime in May.
Yeah,
Whenever it starts getting really nice.
I'm gonna have to find a way to meet you guys in New Jersey.
All right.
I'm gonna, you know, I'll leave Delaware. I'll leave idyllic Delaware just to come to.
Ride your bike. There's plenty of time. You got the whole summer coming
All
up.
get together and maybe have a drink and have a meal or something and find a way to say
Yep.
hello.
Sounds good.
Yep.